Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about my August TBR, MBR, picks, possibilities, those kind of things. So once again, I'm giving myself a lot of books to pick from. I decided to go with a certain type of book to pick from because I am a very big mood reader. So I want to give myself options. I don't want to just like cram myself into like this tiny little list. I prefer to give myself a big list to pick from. There is only two books on this list that are traditionally published, and then one is indie published, and I believe the rest of these are all going to be self-published because it is going to be Indie August, so I would like to put a lot of attention towards reading indie/self-pub books. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I still sometimes have a little trouble differentiating the difference between indie and self-pub because sometimes I get self-pub books in and they've got like a press name and I'm like, is this indie or is it self? I don't understand. So I just kind of, if it sounds bad, I kind of just lump them together. But it makes it a little bit easier for me. Before I jump into the TBR list, I will go over the last few that I did not read that were from my previous TBR that I'm going to carry them over, but doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to read them. There is one I'm not carrying over though, and that is going to be The Riddle Master of Head by Patricia A. McKillop. This is not because I did not like the book, because I love Patricia and I love her writing, I love her work. This is due to the fact that every single time I picked up this book to read it, somebody had to talk to me. And I ended up putting it aside, and when I finally had the chance to pick it up and give it attention, I couldn't remember anything that I had read. So I'm just going to set it aside. I'm going to restart it at a later date, probably after August, give myself time to just distance myself from it and retackle it later, and hopefully nobody will find the need to talk to me when I try to read it. Next one that I'm carrying over, this is the start of the carryover list, okay? So Bonnie and Reed by Julie Walker. This is a book based on Anne Bonny and Mary Read, Pirate Queens of the Caribbean. I am carrying this one over. There is an event going on hosted by Alex where he is doing, I will put his blog name down below because I cannot remember at this moment and I record on my phone so I can't check. But he is doing a pirate week in August at some point, so I would like to read this one during his little pirate week thing that he's got going on because I think it would be kind of fun. I'm not taking part in the stuff that he actually has listed up and stuff, but I want to read this when he's like doing his big old pirate thing because it sounds fun. So I will be carrying this one forward. After that, I'm carrying forward The First Ancestor by J.D.L. Russell, Book 2 in Ranger of the Titan Wilds. I really wanted to get to this one last month. It just didn't happen because I read 16 other books. I had that backwards. But I do plan on moving this one forward. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait to see what happens next in this world. There is A Game of Strength and Storm and Clash of Fate and Fury by Rachel Menard. I actually have started this one. I'm 3 chapters into it. I like the setup so far. It's very quick and easy to read. I just picked it up like at like midnight one night and was like, let me see what those first couple chapters feel like. So that is why I've already started it. So I will be carrying these ones forward. These are by I believe Flux is an indie press, if I remember correctly. They did send these to me as ARCs, so I'm definitely looking forward to them. They're YA based. They are based upon Greek mythology. You can already start to see a lot of that stuff shining through within those first 3 chapters. So definitely looking forward to seeing where this particular series goes. And I think I will get through it fairly quickly since it is YA. Last one that I am carrying over is The Awakening Fire by Cassidy Faline. I have already started this one and I am loving it so far. I am only 2 chapters in, but quite a bit of information has been happening and I'm already interested in a lot of the characters because you meet quite a few already. So and a lot of the lore has already started to be introduced, and I like the direction that Faline is like taking and like introducing this information to you. So I'm definitely going to continue on with this one. I'm hoping to have this one finished within like a day or 2, but definitely enjoying it so far. That's the last of the books that I'm carrying over from last month. Now, the only other traditionally published book that is on this list is Clytemnestra by Costanza Casati. So I created a TBR cooking pot. It's literally a cooking pot. I created a TBR cooking pot. So They're I don't want anyone saying anything about this, okay, but this, I do not use this cooking set anymore because it came with, it was a set of 3, and one of them, they're supposed to be oven safe, and one of them exploded in the oven. So I've never used them again after that. I do not trust them. I do not trust the set anymore. So I found another way to refurbish it, I guess you could say. So basically every little tab that's in here, and there's a color coordination to it, pertains to a particular bookshelf in the house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 8. So each one has been numbered, and each of these, so like yellow, I think is bookshelf 3, and green is bookshelf 1. So this would be a book on this shelf. And this is to help me tackle my physical TBR, because I get overwhelmed looking at my shelves because I have so much unread that I'm like, I don't even know where to start. And that's where this bad boy comes in. Clytemnestra was the first one picked out of it because when my daughter came home, I told her about it. She wasted 0 seconds pulling one out of there and picking a book for me. I wanted to do it on camera, but she beat me to it because she was so excited. And the book she picked was Clytemnestra. This was on the 2nd shelf on the very top because I hadn't added it to the 3rd properly. So that is the one traditional book that I will be reading, and I do look forward to it. It's Greek mythology, and I am hoping that it will be a winner for me. Okay, so the rest of these books are more that are, they're technically all on bookshelf 4, okay, but they are all self-pub or possibly indie, because like I said, I can't tell sometimes. And there's going to be one that comes particularly just from the Kindle. I'll explain that when I get to it. So let's go ahead and let me just show you what I have. And that is going to be Shard and Shield by Laura Vanarandonk Bow. I'm pretty sure I've mutilated that and I apologize. But this is book 1 of the Shard of Elan series. My friend got this for me. She goes to conventions for gaming. And one of the ones she went to, they had like a little hall where there was some booksellers, and she picked this one up for me because she thought it sounded right up my alley. So I maybe will get to this one because, like I said, I don't plan on. I know I'm not going to get to all of these. This is just a very wide selection to choose from. So this is a possibility that I could get to. After that, I have The Severing Sun by Yvonne Roycroft. So this was pure cover buy. I had to have this one. I did have some difficulties getting it from Amazon. The author reached out and helped me out, and I am very grateful for that. But I know nothing about this book. I have 0 plans to read the synopsis, which is very on character for me, so you guys know. But I am really, this is one of the ones that's really, it's up higher on my list of wanting to get to, because the minute I saw the cover and I heard the title, I was like, I'm curious, I want to know, I don't need to know anything else, because that sometimes is all it takes for me. So this is very high up on my list. I have heard a lot of good things about it, so I am looking forward to it. Then I have Queens of the Word by Tamandra Whitecastle. This is one I've had, I think, for about 2 years now, and I've been told it's basically like Kings of the Wild, but women that are moms. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. That was really all I needed to hear. So I'm definitely hoping that this is one of the ones that my brain will be like, we're gonna read that one, because it just sounds exciting. It sounds like it's gonna be great, and I think it's high time that I finally read it. Then I have Memories of Blood and Shadow by Erin S. Jones. The author actually sent this one to me last year, and then it got lost in the mail, and then I had to send a second one out. So it's been a long time coming that I should have read this one. It takes place in like a desert setting, which is something that I have been wanting to explore more of. So and since it's kind of been on the mind lately, I'm definitely looking forward to getting to this one. Hopefully this will be one of the ones. The back of this, someone says they read this in an entire day because it was so good. And I'm kind of like, you read that in an entire day? Like, I'm curious now. Like, so yeah, definitely hoping that this will be one of the ones that I get to. Honestly, I hope I'm gonna get to all of them. That's just kind of like, I think like that's the normal thing. Like I hope I can get to all of these, but I'm also a realistic person when I want to be. Then after that I have They Mostly Come Out at Night by Benedict Patrick. This is a Yarns World novel. It's the first one in the novel. I have actually read the short story, and I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I immediately bought this one afterwards. And twice I tried to read it around like the spooky Halloween season, but I tend to read a lot of middle grade spooky around that time, so I've never gotten around to it. So I figure, why not now? It's short. I can get through this in a day. Definitely looking forward to it. You can see I started it at one point. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one because I did really like the short story that I read, and I've heard a lot of great things about this particular series. The last two of the physicals that I have, because there's going to be one more book after this, and that would be book one of A King. Okay, hold on a second. I'm getting confused by this title. And this is sometimes something that does bug me sometimes with self-published books. So the series is called Legend of Tal, but book one is called A King's Bargain, and book two is called A Queen's Command. Because the Legend of Tal is so big, I keep thinking the book is called Legend of Tal, but it's the series name, and this just a small, tiny little, what is the word? Nitpick, that's not the word. A little thing that irritates me, bugs me, is when the series title is bigger than the book title. That, because as you guys can see, I get confused. Anyways, these are by J.D.L. Russell. I have actually had these longer than I had the Ranger of the Titan Wilds, and I bought them because I liked the covers. They sounded interesting, and then like any normal book person, I put them on the shelf and walked away. So I'm hoping to remedy that, especially since I now actually do have experience in reading Russell's work. He does have a Kickstarter for this one coming up, if you guys had seen it, and I think that's part of like what kind of like propelled me to like, it's time, we need to read this, you've had it long enough. So definitely hoping to get to these ones. Like I said, I'm hoping to get to all of these. So then the very last book, and now this is going to be a for sure, it will be read, and that is because it's another TBR jar. This is a recycled candle jar. We do a lot of recycling in this house. All of these red and white squares, because I ran out of red paper. These are all books on my Kindle. So I have a really big problem of getting books on Kindle and then forgetting that I own a Kindle, because I read physical books 1,000 times faster than I do Kindle books. And I know this about myself, and it makes it a lot easier for me to forget about the Kindle books. So that's also why it takes me that's why like I know I take a long time to get to my digital arcs because of this, because I forget. I don't even know where my Kindle is right now, and I thought I brought it over here. I found it. I had to take like 3 minutes to go find it, and I had to yell out for it. I'm not gonna, like yell her name. Like, I don't want to say it because she'll activate, but like I had to yell out her name so she would talk to me so I could find it. So anyways, lovely Kindle here on hand. But yes, so every single one of these tabs is a book that is on my Kindle, and I am going to pull one out. This is going to be a must read. I have to read it. There is no other way around it. If I do not read it by the end of the month, I am a bad person and a liar, and I don't want to be either of those. So I figure I am going to pick one on camera so you guys can all be here for this. So this is it's a big candle, but like, let's see. That is 2 of them wrapped together. Let's see. So here we go. And I use little djembe tape. He's a whale. So the first book is Windward. Okay, so the book that was picked was Windward by S. Keith. This is Keith? Maybe it's pronounced Keith. So this is a Kindle book that was picked from the jar that is for sure 100% going to be read. Looking forward to this one. I've had this one for maybe about 2 years now, so that's That's also why I need to do this, because some of these I have had for like 2-3 years, or basically since I've had my Kindle, which hasn't been very long, but still. So this is a 100% will read. I can talk. So looking forward to this one. It's got a dragon on it and a rider on it, so I'm assuming it's going to involve dragon riding of some sort. I think that was why I picked it up. Because like I said, I pick up a lot of books just because of cover art. So trying to not get the ring light on it. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this one. That is my big, giant, unnecessary MBR list for the month of August. Like I said, I keep it this way so that I have lots of stuff to choose from, and it keeps my mood reading abilities. It allows my mood reading to continue working while keeping it to like a set stuff. That all makes sense. I know. I'm going to stop rambling now. So if you've read any of these, go ahead and drop a comment below. If any of them sound interesting to you, let me know, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.